Workings are some of the most unusual rights in all of the Seven Wars. They are descendants of Adamites, specifically humans who came to live in Iberia of Ctonion 40,000 years ago. Even back then, it was a stained place tied with battle. This put their ancestors in danger. This resulted in these ancestors turning to becoming warlocks and prophets for Witwers, a type of skeletal vampires that fed on the blood spilled in battles that ravaged Iberia. When Witwers often asked payment in sexual favors from these their acolytes, which lead to vampire societies being born. Over time, these vampires evolved into workings. One of major results of this ancestry is the ability to revive from any harm other than old age. Basic information. Anatomy. Appearance-wise, the workings are similar to their human ancestors, albeit they are slightly leaner and they tend to accumulate fat to much smaller degree. Also, they tend possess two protruding cheeks, longer noses. Another aspect is that they look much older than humans of the same age, as they soft internal organs age at 0.6 rate of human ones, skeletal muscular systems at 1.4 rate, and their skin at 2.6 rate, making even the youth appear elderly. While their elders often have their skins that disappear as they can live up to 180 years of age. Their bones and muscles are denser than human ones, which together with their lives often link them to constant exercise help offset bone and muscle weakness due to their accelerated aging. Uh, uh, the skin is significantly thicker than human skin and is pale and ashen in color, ranging from light gray and to almost charcoal, having only color in lips and eyes, which are either pale blue or gray. While their hair can be of any color that an adamant has seen, this usually becomes gray early or. Resurrection. What is most likely the most unusual trait of workings is their revival ability. They revive every time they die, with how long they stay dead depending on the state of the body, and could last between minutes and days. If they start dying from famine and this, they enter a form of cryptobiosis in which they become ravenous, alien vampires called hollows until they retain enough blood to revive themselves fully. This revival is based upon a sort of autosave that happens every 15 minutes. And if the body was destroyed, it will be rebuilt in the last place a working slept. The revival process grows weaker with the deterioration due to age until it becomes no longer possible to revive and working finally dies. Hollows. Hollows are what happens if working is deprived from food and drink for a prolonged time. Their body withers, their faces become skeletal, and they lose all their hair. They also become ravenous, overcome with terrible bloodlust, which only a few of them can hope to control. They can only be stopped with a silver knife to the heart. However, this does not kill them, just immobilize them until the blade is removed. The only way to return from that state is for the suffering working to drink enough blood. While few workings would willingly enter such state, there are benefits to it, as during this state a working does not age, and it's enough. And if enough time passes, the unicorns will emerge. Genetics and reproduction. They reproduce like humans do. Female whites have workings have periods each month until around 60 years of age. The pregnancy is longer, however, as it lasts for 12 months. After birth, they generally mature like humans do, with an exception in the hair starting to break around the age of 19. They will also always look older than they really are, with their bodies looking more and more withered as they age. At the age of 120, their skin is so deteriorated in that it starts to fall apart. From that point onward, they spend almost all their time in specifically prepared water vessels, as they, like humans, are incapable of thermoregulation without the skin. Finally, around the age of 180, the level capability ultimately fades and they finally die. Oxygen habitat. Like the Adamite ancestor, they are primarily plain-dwelling species with some preferences to artificial structures they build. Needs and habits. Working do not differ in the dietary requirements from other Adamites, at least not that much, albeit they need a bit more protein on average. Behavior. Psychologically, workings are similar to Adamites in many ways, but one major difference is called of war. Basically, every working has innate desire to engage in conflict. The galaxy has warrior also as a tactician. The cause is strong and led to working cultures developing heavy focus on intellectual violence, as well as many workings to seek lives of mercenaries and lone adventures. These societies are divided into sedentary and moving versions. Solitary societies operate in settlements called black fortresses. In each of these black fortresses, around 1,000 workings reside. Each soldier must something other as well. Meanwhile, the moving part consists of mercenaries and adventurers who often become mercenaries in the piece of kinokefali or stablemen, as well as bandits and raiders. Addition to social sector, the working society is gentrocratic, with all smers being tacticians, generals, and the younger ones being divided into logisticians, who are also merchants, infantry, who are soldiers, cavalry, who are also diplomats, engineers, who are also scholars, and chaplains, who are peers. Runecoin currency is such magic. Most workings who live in their own societies are practitioners of a minor magical tradition based around hard currency. They also use as well currency. A working who is a practitioner is able to create a weak hound when they kill a being in a mutual combat. These hounds are bound with workings practitioners and manifest as Sherlock cats in their flesh. They can transfer between him and another working practitioner or not. There are 7 tiers of these rune coins, from least valuable to most valuable. There are tin, lead, iron, copper, mercury, silver, gold. Only the first 4 can be obtained by regular means. Rest must be obtained by fusing, which happens when hollows that spend at least a month in the vampire slit regains life. 7 of the rune coins turn into a rune coin, one value higher. How many 7s turn depends on per how many weeks a working spent in hollow state. The most valuable about one's fused first. Besides use as currency, these rune coins can be used to facilitate magical effects by spending them. Tin grants ability to enhance a destiny, granting good luck to oneself and bad luck to others. Lead grants necromantic ability, the ability to talk to the dead and to see memories of the land. Iron grants elemental impartment on the implements of harm, the only one to grant ability not directly tied to malediction. Copper grants basic necrogy, allowing for creation of zombies. Mercury grants Arete Mauros. Silver grants the ability to permanently increase mental capabilities to a point. Gold grants ability to permanently increase bodily capabilities to a point. Using any of these abilities requires expenditure of at least 1 rune coin, with more powerful or longer magical feats requiring more. Facial characteristics. Faces of workings are similar to human ones, but with few differences. Their noses are much larger, and so are their chins, which is often attributed to many of their weaker ancestors being of cynocephaly origin. The skin is ashen in color, from pale light gray to charcoal gray, and their eyes are later light blue or gray, and almost always have a thin dark circle surrounding the iris, giving them a striking appearance. Their lips tend to be thin and pale, often making it look even more haggard than just their winged appearance would. Geographic origin and distribution. Most of workings live in their land of origin, Iberia on Ctonion, where many polities formed by black fortresses standing in perpetual war dictated by this stained place or like nature. Besides that, they sometimes make permanent habitation in other stained places of World Ctonion, with particularly high concentration in southern orient of Ctonion, especially near the Ctonian part of Kingdom of Prester John. Besides that, can be found in many other white race societies. Perception and sensory capabilities. Same as Adamites, albeit with some differences of how they age. As eyes and tongue are soft organs, they often retain perfect eyesight even on their deathbed, and so to taste. On the other hand, as large part of their hearing apparatus is based in skeletal muscular system, they go deaf much quicker. Finally, smell and touch are always first to go. Symbiotic and parasitic organisms. When not a species, they almost universally use a type of zombie horse as mounts that are created using the copper rune coins. These skeleton horses do not tire, so they are perfect seats for the cavalry. Civilization and culture. Naming traditions. Working stake names derived from weapons such as espadon, claymora, or lancen. Beauty in this. Generally shrink wrap skin in sense of clinging to flesh and not drooping, as well as lean and muscular bodies are often seen as good looking. Also, scars are often viewed in good light as well. General ideas. They are little in way of divided gender roles, but human beings skilled in use of shield as well as medicine, while men being masculine in both and dancing is often seen as desirable. Courtship ideas. Generally, fighting together is expected from switched spouses. Interspecies relations and assumptions. Workings are often mercenaries to other races of Ctonian, and their relationship with them is shaped by that. With signature race of Ctonian, the Kinokephali, relationship is best described as loyal allies terrifying enemies. With Sablemen, the relation is complicated. While the fact that Iberia is in close proximity to Maya civilization of Sablemen, which coupled when with the Sablemen tendency of Somalis, and most of their cultures praising cruelty, the major employer of working mercenaries. That's cruelty led to many senses of idiocy. However, even if most Sablemen frown of the such ability, that led to amplifying the workings they hired. Elephants are respected for their wisdom, even if their morbid perversions disrupt the workings, and the working will never king, kill an elf elephant. So when the Sablemen want to make them to do that, they have to pay extra, as well as find and spread grub. Outside of that, workings often find employment in the armies of Dark Elves when they go to the war against Silvermen, when the Silvermen inevitably cause a threat of taint from the dungeon cities upsetting the local ecosystems. The Workings and Warwights have a complicated relationships. While they've often been enemies, many Workings have assimilated into Warwight hives, and many Warwight hives become part of Black Fortress societies.